Okay guys, so today I want to do a vlog about motorcycle electronics and rider aids, because in my previous and future videos I point out the advanced electronics up to this day as a negative thing in motorcycles, and I'm receiving some questions about that, and if I would be explaining in details each video, it would take some time. It's not something that I just feel about, so I will do a little vlog and explain the logic behind my idea, and you decide for yourself, is it viable, is it not, and finally it's a personal choice.
Subscribe.
Cactus Motors.
Just like that. So first of all, understanding the riding aids and all the electronics package in the motorcycle, first of all you have to understand that this is for racing. Every manufacturer aims to win one or another race, and electronics definitely helps. More advanced electronics, the better results in the competition. And basically these electronics are being developed for the professional riders, and professional riders are not an average consumer or average buyer of the bike. Okay. So for professional rider, these aids helps to ride faster and more efficient than it should be possible if the rider would be driving by himself. And this is due to current technology and current ability of processors to gather and process a load quantity of data which is not possible for the human brain, right? Idea is like this. But that also means that the driver of the advanced motorcycle, the motorcycle with advanced electronic aids and package, is riding above his own limits, right? So what for professional rider is a help, for average Joe is a dangerous thing. And it's not the same like in the cars, because cars has 4 wheels, and if something happens on the road, as example slippery road, and car loses the traction, all 4 wheels are working to restore the traction, and you have some time for that. In a motorcycle, it's a different story, and we have only one wheel, which is responsible for traction, and if that one wheel is slipped, it's basically a crash. There is no time. So definitely the electronics in the motorcycles works pretty much differently than in the cars, and the level of safety it brings is different. Now, when speaking about adventure motorcycles, for me is obvious that for this segment advanced electronics are a disadvantage. Why? When you go to adventure, basically you go to some remote locations, and in those remote locations the availability of technical support with a connection to the computer or to the manufacturer service is not available. So motorcycle as a reliable tool is not reliable anymore, because if something happens, you cannot do anything about it. Also, if we're speaking about anything happens, nowadays adventure motorcycles, if we're speaking about simple breeds like Yamaha Tenere, they have some sensors, of course, but they have like 5 to 10, maybe 15 sensors, and those sensors are from a technology or from technologies which are available for decades, and most of them are pretty much reliable things, proven in the battlefield, right? But if we're speaking about latest KTMs or latest BMWs, Ducatis, of course, these motorcycles has tenth or even hundreds of various sensors, and each additional sensor basically is additional vulnerable point which reduces the reliability of the bike. So normally seasoned adventure riders are taking care in advance and are minimizing the quantity of sensors on their bikes by eliminating, for example, side stand sensor in both Kawasaki and Yamaha bikes, or eliminating lambda sensors and other stuff which possibly can go wrong. And with eliminated like ABS sensor, you can still ride the bike as new and without any substantial consequences. So for this segment, reliability is quite important, and unless you are racing, the radar rates and advanced technology is rather minus, not an advantage. Another thing which is important not only for adventure riders, but I guess for most of the riders, is the freedom. From the very beginning, from like 50s, 60s, the motorcycles are called freedom machines, and to this day most of the motorcycle advertising says that, yeah, if you want freedom, you go ride motorcycle. But guys, let's think, what kind of freedom you have if you cannot turn off the service light by yourself after changing the oil? Or what kind of freedom we talk if you buy a motorcycle with the heated grips installed, but you have additionally pay the dealership to activate them on the computer, and so on and so on. So from the perspective of freedom and reliability and ability to go around the world, the electronic package and rider rates a clear disadvantage, and in terms of adventure bikes, they are rather bad thing than it's a good thing. But also there is another topic which is based on my observation and on publicly available statistical data. It's the fact that since 2006, 2005, the sales of new motorcycles are dropping down, are decreasing, right? But the number of accidents are increasing, and the number of deaths per accident is also increasing. And that is a little bit related to the speeds, but speeds are related to the electronic package, because the most of the bikes, adventure mid-size bikes and the big bikes, they has such amount of horsepower that you cannot ride these bikes without electronic aids. And that means that, of course, the speeds are increased. Now, if we're getting back about riding above the limit, guys who does not ride the motorcycle as professional riders, do not special training, they even don't know that they ride above their limits. And riding above the limit, be you a professional rider or be you an average Joe, it's a dangerous thing, because if anything happens, that means that you do not have proper abilities to control your bike. That's why I would never recommend beginner to buy an electronically advanced bike, and that's why I do not recommend any weekend rider to buy electronically advanced bike. And even if you are considering to buy electronically advanced bike, I suggest from the bottom of my heart to learn riding first properly in all the situations: off-road, road, sand, mud, water crossing, do wheelies, do speed slides, do in-hill climbing, downhill climbing. And when you feel comfortable in all these situations with a simple 250-300 bike, then to jump on an advanced KTM 890 or Ducati Multistrada Enduro or bikes like that. And more on this topic, plurally speaking, the last nail into the coffin, for me personally, was when the Drive Mag redactor Christian slipped on a wet road with a fully equipped BMW 1250 with a full electronic package, rider aids and all the bells and whistles, and still this was a deadly crash, unfortunately. And Ducati Pikes Peak is also an example. I'm sorry, and Ducati Street Fighter introduction on Pikes Peak with a elite motorcycle athlete deadly crash means that yeah, those electronics at the end of the day do not save the world. And if we look at pure statistics, that new motorcycles sold, number of new motorcycles sold is dropping down, and the crashes are getting up. It is a pure illustration that rider aids and these motorcycle electronics are not effective in the safety. And of course, probably it should be research. Probably this problem should be researched more in depth and by competent authorities, but statistics speaks by themselves. The more advanced bikes become, more dangerous they become, and definitely differently from the cars. Cars are getting safer, but not the motorcycles, and there is an objective reasons for that. So at this point, that's it. I think that choosing motorcycle without raiding aids is a smart move, and especially for adventure motorcyclists and adventure riding, it's number one to pick up, unless you are participating in rally competitions, and you are very competitive and want to be first no matter what. So that's my take, and yeah, and when I point in further or in past my videos my negative impression or the minus on any motorcycle with an electronic, you can just return and to listen that again. Okay guys, so thank you very much for spending time with me, and see you on the other videos.
Don't forget to click a like.
Cactus Motus.